So what are the steps? What do you actually do when someone says, Vanessa, I bought a home and I want you to represent me and act for me in this case, or purchasing this property. So what do? Let's talk about maybe the selling side first.
The selling side? Well, really, they generally for a contract they can't put a property on the market without having a contract for sale.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll initially call me and say, look, I'm looking to sell it. This is my agent, or I'm going to do it myself. What do I do? And I, tell them, well, we need to put a contract together, and that's where I come in, and I just order all the documents, put it together, get instructions from them, clear instructions about what's included in the sale, have you done any improvements, do you pay land tax, those sorts of things. If they don't live in it, that's going to come into play, and make sure that they provide me with all the information so that I can make a contract that's for that property.
Got it.
And then they can they give it to their agent, and I wait for a purchaser to come along. So that's a pretty simple side of it for a vendor.
For a vendor, which is selling. So naturally they can't put their house on the market until, say if they're doing it themselves or they've engaged an agent, they can't do it till they've got that contract of sale, okay? So what I understand is you've got a formal part of the contract, and then there's bits and pieces that you mentioned you're ordering or getting the contract in. So what are they? So
one's a title search, so it just shows you, it's like what the property is known as, so a folio identifier, what they call. So for a unit it would be a strata plan, and all of those get attached behind that certificate. We also get a certificate called a 149 certificate from council, and that explains what stipulations council have in relation to that in terms of development, whether it's bushfire prone, any contamination issues that may be there, things like that, and then a sewer diagram. So they know where the sewer sits.
And all of that comes together, and that gets handed over to the agent, for example, and then now they can go and advertise that property. So if a buyer was to come along, they would naturally see that here's for example, the strata plan you mentioned, which is for a unit, or a deposit plan for a home, and they'd say, here it is, here's the sewer diagram, this is what are the, for example, council in their 149 certificate would have things like road widening, anything to do with flood studies and all those sorts of bits and pieces as well, right? So I guess they've got that there as an overall snapshot of what's involved with this particular home or unit.
Exactly.